everyone, welcome back to Raw Synergy TV. I am so excited because I'm here with my good friend Robbie Barbaro, and so excited for him to share his story and information with you today. So Robbie, thank you so much for...
I'm so glad to be here.
It's
always good to see you and John.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Robbie is a type 1 diabetic, and he's been following the fruit diet for 7 years.
It's going to be 8 years in December.
It's a long time. And so I want to know what it was like, because you found out you were diabetic when you were 14?
Yes.
Because that's kind of late in the game, right?
It's right. It's usually juvenile diabetes is what it's known as, but now they've adjusted things for several reasons, because of the adult onset. Young kids starting to get the adult onset, but also you can get type 1 a little bit later in life.
Okay.
And it's interesting because my brother had it before me.
Really?
So I was complaining for several weeks before getting diagnosed. It was January 26, 2002.
Wow.
And several weeks before that I was complaining, oh mom, I think I have diabetes. I'm like super thirsty, I'm going to the bathroom all the time.
Because you knew what your brother's symptoms were.
Right. So I was aware. And she's like, she didn't believe me, like, oh no, you're fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then my parents were gone. We were living in Minnesota at the time. They were looking at houses in Florida, where we ended up moving. And she was gone, and I was talking to her in the morning. I was like, Mom, like last night I couldn't sleep. I was like cramping. And she's like, okay, go upstairs, use your brother's meter and see what it says. And I tested my blood sugar, and I was 400, 450, something ridiculous.
Wow. And then, so what's a normal?
A normal is between 70 and 120.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So in the 400 range is off the charts.
That's a problem.
Oh, wow.
So my brother was basically just said, like, right then and there, you have type 1 diabetes, so pack your bag, you're going to be in the hospital for a few days.
Oh my God.
And it didn't really hit me until, a little bit later, but that's what happened. And my parents, they came back right away, and I only had to stay in the hospital for one night because my family already knew what to do. And, in the beginning, I took it very seriously. And I always have, so I always had pretty good management.
Right.
And, then things started to change over time.
Eventually you're like learning about diet and health, and you want to like really maintain it and...
Right, so naturally you get diagnosed with type 1, and if you're, deciding to take it seriously, you start reading books, you start learning, okay, I gotta prevent all these possible complications that could happen. And for me, it was a slow step of learning things. Like first it was like, organic is better than non-organic.
Right.
And eventually, MSG, don't eat food with MSG in it, so stop the processed stuff. And then I came across the Western Price Organization, and they're saying that raw milk is better than pasteurized milk. Okay, it makes sense. No grass-fed beef is better than the factory farm beef.
Right.
So it was a slow progression. And then eventually, I was on a forum one day, and I was telling people, it was sort of like a raw food website, kind of like a high-end raw food website. They're in the gourmet and all that. I was explaining to people why it's very important to have milk, and why raw milk is actually healthy. And they were really nice, really friendly people on this forum, and they suggested I check out the movie Earthlings. And I watched Earthlings, and this is my freshman year of college now. And that blew my mind. The most important thing, because I was I still am, always health first, really.
Right.
I want to be, and then the other stuff just sort of like is added on.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I'm a freshman at the University of Florida, a really good college. I think I'm smart. And how did I not know this? Like, how was this hidden from me, not in my consciousness? So I was like, wow, these people know something that I don't know. So I'll go back to the board, and I was open to their nutrition information now.
Right.
And then that's when I stumbled. Then I got into the Gabriel Cousins thing, because when it comes to diabetes and the raw food movement, Gabriel Cousins got that movie, Raw for 30 Days. He has a book, The Cure for Diabetes. So his information is really out there.
Yeah.
And I tried that for a little bit. And, it was successful in the fact that I took a really, really small amount of insulin. So that was good. But I didn't have any energy. I had blackouts on campus. I wasn't feeling so good.
Oh, wow.
And eventually I heard Dr. Graham talk on a podcast. And I pre-ordered this. This is in September of 2006. I heard him on a podcast. And he was talking about his book that was coming out. The 80-10-10 Diet book wasn't out yet. And so I pre-ordered it, and I finally got it in the mail in December. And I read it, and then did a consultation with Doug. So we emailed each other every single day for 90 days straight.
Wow.
And there was no looking back after that. So the first week was just bananas, then bananas and lettuce, and then just adding milo meals of one fruit at a time for a little bit.
So interesting.
So
and
that's the quick journey from getting diagnosed to those are the main diets I tried: the Weston Price, Gabriel Cousins, and then 80-10-10, and haven't looked back.
And so, what did your family think of you doing all this fruit?
You know, it was funny. I'm trying to think. So it was actually Christmas. So I was doing this in mid-December is when I actually started. I can see the situation. I come down, I think it's Christmas dinner, and I have a plate of peeled bananas. I believe it was probably 10 or 11 bananas, just all peeled, just stacked on top of each other.
So great.
And it was just, I don't think they thought it was going to last. But at this point, they had already been very supportive. It had been several years. We've been doing lots of crazy things.
Yeah.
And, well, not crazy things, but
just
different things.
Different things.
Yeah, different things.
Experimenting.
So, yeah. So they were very supportive, and I think the main thing was having type 1 diabetes and getting these amazing results with eating this much fruit, and then my insulin to carb ratio. At that time, the total amount of insulin I was taking was going down. There was really no arguing with the results.
Yeah.
And so my parents just wanted me to be happy and healthy, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what I tell people. Like, once you start getting results, and you start seeing how much better you're feeling, it's like people cannot argue with that.
And as long as your communication is good, you're not pushing it on somebody else. If you're going to push it on them, then they're going to find a way to fight back. But if you're just like, look, I'm doing my thing, and you just let them do their thing, it's usually not a problem.
Yeah, that's usually the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, best results that way. You've been eating this diet for 8 years now, and things are just going so great. And you are now helping type 2 diabetics.
So I want to reach anybody who has diabetes, essentially. And unfortunately, I mean, the truth is though, 95% of them are type 2s. So of course, I want to share this information with them, because for them, I mean, they can do this lifestyle and just completely get off medication.
Right.
I mean, that's such a blessing. It's just like it's gone. I wish I could have that for me, you know? So yeah, absolutely, definitely. And Tasha, she wrote a book, Healing Diabetes with Fruit. Yes. So I mean, the whole
book.
Yeah, and that book's all about type 2s as well. So of course, we want to reach those people.
Right. And so, how can people find you?
Okay, so I just started this new thing, and it's called Mindful Diabetic, and I'm just trying to, really at the end of the day, just raise awareness for the fruit is not a problem for diabetics.
Right.
High carbohydrates is not a problem for diabetics.
Right.
If you're interested in this, if you want to do it, here's some information, ask me questions, I'm happy to help you. And it's just like, I use the word mindful to try and just help you just to have the awareness, just use your, it's not, there's no judgment here, you can do what you want to do, it's just that, to me, it's so upsetting to see in the diabetes community just no recognition that this is an option. Like the whole community is just like, it's either low carb or they don't care. It's one or the other. That's where everybody fits into those categories, and then a very small percent know, or at least trying that, hey, this option could work. Right. So that's what I'm trying to do, raise the awareness.
Right. Yeah. And so on Mindful Diabetic, what can people find? Like they go to mindfuldiabetic.com. Right?
Yes, it's kind of like a landing page right now. They can sign up for the newsletter. So right now, I just started making some YouTube videos showing people the food that I'm buying, what's in the fridge, what's on the fruit rack, and all that. Right. And some what I ate videos, so they can see what I'm eating, what time am I eating, how much insulin am I taking, all that stuff. And then on Instagram and Facebook, just bright, colorful pictures of just celebrating how fun and beautiful this lifestyle is.
I love your Instagram.
Thank you.
And Facebook pages, all your beautiful photos. I remember when I first saw a video of you showing your fruit rack of all your fruit that you were eating, and you had just an abundance of fruit, and I was like, because I don't think I wasn't eating that much fruit at the time. Like, I was just getting into 80-10-10 and learning about it, and I was just blown away. And I would show John your videos, like, look at this guy, look at the fruit that he's eating, and he's a diabetic. It's amazing.
You gotta buy a lot.
You do.
And that's part of the benefit of the lifestyle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You get to eat so much of this sweet, juicy stuff. Like almost every meal is like a dessert.
Yes,
so.
it's heavenly.
Yeah.
And do you have any advice or wisdom for people like just starting out, and especially diabetics? Like,
yeah.
And type 1 diabetics.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I think the first thing is if you're just starting out, get educated. Like there has to be an intellectual understanding
Definitely.
to get through, especially the beginning phases.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're type 2 and you start eating this way, most of the time you're gonna, if you're type 2 and you're taking insulin, you're gonna that's gonna go away very quickly. So you have to be very careful.
Right.
And talk to your physician, let them know. And whatever medications you're on, you gotta talk to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
So be careful of doing it on your own. And that's very important. And then I would say if you're, again, part of getting educated and learning all that and understanding intellectually is understand that there's going to be a period of time where, fat is the major problem with diabetes. So especially type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, let's just talk about that really quick, because that is really the main deal. That's
right, exactly.
an issue.
So basically, type 2 diabetics, they're producing enough insulin. Their body is still producing insulin, they're just not using it properly. And the reason their body's not able to use it properly is because basically fat, and Dr. Barnard wrote the book, Prevent and Reverse. Dr. Barnard's program for...
Dr. Bernard's got a book, and we'll post the information about it here.
I can't remember the exact title. But anyways,
that's okay.
So he's done this really great research, and it's based on a lot of other research that's been done almost over 100 years ago, that fat is the major issue with causing insulin resistance.
Right.
So that's what's going on there. And so there's going to be a period of time when you're switching your diet that your body's going to need to clean out that fat. So maybe you might have some high blood sugars in the beginning. But you have to be able to intellectually work through that to get to the point, especially for the type 2s. Trust you're going to get to a point where you don't need any medication anymore. So, yeah, and then for type 1s, the major tip I have to give a type 1 is when you're eating a fruit-based diet, eating a meal of fruit, a monomeal or whatever, it's going to get into the bloodstream really quickly. Much quicker than your other foods were. So if you take insulin and then you eat fruit right away, you're going to see a spike because the insulin doesn't work right away. It takes some time for the insulin to get in the bloodstream and start actually working. So you got to take the insulin and then wait until usually about 15 minutes. But you have to experiment and figure out what it is for each person.
Right.
Usually about 15 minutes, and then you'll see that it's working and now it's time to eat. So that's the major thing. So people will come to me and they'll say, I tried the thing and I ate a bunch of fruit, my blood sugar was super high. Well, then one, this is for type 1, they probably messed up their insulin timing, and number 2, they probably still have a lot of fat lingering in their body. They have to work through that over a period of time. Every person's going to be different. Some people's body might clear it out in a couple of days, some people might take a couple of weeks, a month.
Right.
So
when you started, you were working with a doctor?
Dr. Grant, yep.
So you were working with Dr. Graham, so he was guiding you through the whole thing. So you weren't going to your regular medical doctor. Right.
No, actually, it's funny. To this day, I have not had a conversation with any of my diabetes. They've changed based on where I was living.
Yeah.
They don't. I come in there. My A1Cs, my results are great, so they don't really go into detail about the diet or anything. So if they don't ask me, I'm not gonna. I'll answer the question if they ask me. I tell them the truth. But literally, not a single doctor has asked me, "What do you eat?"
Yeah.
Not one. Which, I guess, because there's no problems, I guess it's okay. But you would still hope that they would care a little more. But after doing this diet for 8 years, I have not had an A1C above 6.1, and an A1C is the measurement of your the average blood sugar over the past 3 months. So, and a normal human is between 4 and 6, and if you're a type 1 diabetic and you're under about 6.5, you're doing very well.
And you go get checked every 3 months?
Every 3 months, I get my that regular checkup with my endocrinologist.
Blood tests.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So is there anything else you want to share?
I think that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Really excited.
So if you want to learn more about Robbie, be sure to go to mindfuldiabetic.com. And on YouTube, you are YouTube/Mindful Diabetic. Robbie.
Yep.
And I'll
Same thing on Instagram.
Same thing on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook's just Mindful Diabetic.
Mindful Diabetic.
And same thing with Twitter. I don't really do much on Twitter.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us what you ate for breakfast.
Okay, so for breakfast today, I had a banana and nectarine smoothie.
Nice.
And the nectarines were frozen, and then 2 of the bananas were frozen.
Nice.
So I think that was like 180 carbohydrates.
Okay.
And I believe I took 7 units for that.
Good.
7 units Humalog.
Okay.
So I have to calculate the ratio and figure out what the
That's
ratio
okay.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
But then for lunch I had persimmons, just straight persimmons, high chias. They're so good right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I've had so far. I did have a little bit of a low blood sugar, so I had some more nectarines about a couple hours ago.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're going to share what we eat for dinner.
That's right, we're going to have a
today.
feast.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. My breakfast today was an orange pear pineapple smoothie. And for lunch, I had a large bowl of organic green Thompson seedless grapes.
This is where we take our compost. And this guy, Randy, he's the compost master. And I'm telling you, we give him probably 3 buckets, 3 5-gallon buckets every few days.
Wow.
And he somehow finds a way to compost it all in just this plot.
Get out. That's crazy.
He buries it. I don't know what he does. He's amazing.
That is so
And this
cool.
is one of my favorite fruits, garlic chives.
Love that.
Garlic chives are so good.
I have those growing on my patio.
Yeah. And there's purslane growing like wild.
I got that too.
Cilantro,
Love
it's
it.
like going to seed. I don't know,
Awesome.
molting, whatever. Harvesting is my favorite part of gardening.
It is the best part for sure.
Best part.
Most rewarding.
Do you want to pick anything?
Yep, I picked some tomatoes. This is good footage right here.
Yeah.
We should put this as our thumbnail.
I like it. What are you picking, Allie?
It's fresh cilantro.
Yum.
And
I can smell it from here. It smells amazing.
our friend grows it, so we know it's grown with love.
I can smell Robbie from here. It smells like a persimmon.
Tell us a quick little bit about this plot of land here.
So this is a Santa Monica Community Gardens, and people can rent a plot. So this is one little plot here.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually have some half plots. So you can see here that so many people wanted to get in on it that they've split them up. So that's a half plot that somebody gets, and here's somebody else's half plot.
Nice.
And yeah, people, it's just an opportunity to grow some food in the city. I mean, we can produce so much. We gotta wake up.
We're in Santa Monica, and it's amazing that you can have something like this because most of the land is just, when there's an empty plot of land, they want to put up a building.
Yep. Yep. I'm very happy to see them preserve this. This is obviously a valuable spot right here on Main Street.
Totally.
So we just want to show people how amazing of a tree, a fruit tree you can have even just in a pot. I mean, somebody could do this in their backyard. So this is a peach tree which produced a good amount this year, and it's just sitting in that little pot right there.
There's a fig tree.
Yeah, we'll show the fig tree a little later. Pretty cool.
It's amazing. It's a gorgeous tree.
Yeah.
Oh,
Marigolds, right?
Really?
yes.
Then we should look for some passion fruit.
So many.
And what is this right here?
Amaranth, I think.
Really?
The green.
Cool. Is that what it looks like when it's in?
I think so.
Awesome.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
There's a butterfly perched right there.
Aww.
Okay, so what do we have here? We've got some cilantro and some passion fruit and some tomatoes. That's a good little
There's a couple
picking.
little chives in the bottom.
Awesome.
$4 worth, you know, if you went to the
More than that.
yeah, about $4.
Yeah, those are expensive others.
Oh, shit.
It's a good stash.
Very good stash.
Paying for it.
Okay, Robbie, tell us what we're having for dinner.
Okay, so for dinner, the most important part of dinner, amazing Valencia Pride mangoes, grown in California. Picked these up on Saturday at the market. Then we have, I don't even know how many varieties of tomatoes. I mean, wild zebra, persimmon. I think these are little lemon boys right here. There's a couple. I don't know what this one is. Might be a Marzal. I'm not sure.
Those are beautiful.
Dill, cilantro. Some dill there, cilantro. Bunch of arugula because I love arugula.
I do too.
And grapes. I forget the variety. Romaine lettuce, Sierra lettuce, and sword lettuce.
Awesome. Looks beautiful.
That's it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing your story
Oh.
with us today,
Been
and
fun.
I'm excited for everyone to get to know Mindful Diabetic, Robbie.
Yes, I can't wait. Please ask me questions, whatever. I love to hear from people on social media.
Right on. Thank you.